Welcome to the Lead Her Radio Show, where up is in and women are on the rise. Featuring your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith, business consultant and strategist, speaker, and international best-selling author. Kim supports women entrepreneurs in becoming top producers in their business. Kim's guests will be sharing business strategies and how to overcome obstacles and achieve true success. And now, here's your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon for those of us who are on Eastern Standard Time, that is. Welcome to another Thursday at Lead Her Up Is In, Women on the Rise. This is Bold Biz Tips Thursday. I've got I always catch myself every week I say this. I get ready to say I have an amazing guest, and of course I have an amazing guest because I'm very territorial here. She's my guest, so of course she's amazing. Oh my gosh. I entertain myself every week in the beginning of my show. Yeah, I do have another wonderful guest, and by the way, she is a co-author in the Bold is Beautiful book, which we're going to learn about here shortly. Christine's resting up in the green room, waiting for me to bring her on. But I want to go through a few things. Welcome back again. Like I said, another Thursday, Bold Biz Tips Thursday. Christine's got some awesome tips. She's got some amazing business stuff that she can bring to the table. I'm excited for all of you to meet her. But before we move on here. Speaking of Bold is Beautiful, on December 20th, we launched Bold is Beautiful, Kindness, Beauty, and Strength. You can get it on Amazon.com if you have not gotten your copy. I hope you rush to get your copy because I would love for you to meet all the other 27, co-authors in that book. We're getting some beautiful feedback from this book, how inspiring these women are. They really put their heart. Boy, they just didn't open up their chest and remove the heart and put it on their sleeve. They literally took the hearts and put it on pen to paper and put it on paper. And they're beautiful. They're amazing. You can learn so much from each and every one of them. They will inspire you. They will motivate you. They will make you laugh. They will make you cry. And they will just change your day, your week, your month, and yet more to come. And I am getting this kind of feedback. So make sure you get your copy so you can meet those beautiful 27 women. They're, again, my opinion is very opinionated since I compiled the book. The women are beautiful. They really are beautiful. They did a great job. But we are getting ready now to launch Bold is Beautiful 2. And no, that is not the title. Bold is Beautiful, Breakthrough to Business Strategies. And that comes out on May 2nd. I am interviewing co-authors for that. So if you are interested, please go to kimbsmith.com and just go to the contact page and just shoot me an email and just simply say you're interested in learning more about the book. We're broadcasting live from Bold Radio Station, and that is boldradiostation.com. It is a 5-star turnkey radio station for women who want to host their radio show, and I provide a turnkey operation for them. So guess what? Ladies, you don't have to worry about anything. Stress, technology, all that, as I put it, cockamamia stuff. And you can have your radio show being hosted right here. It's a beautiful collaboration. We have a blast with all the hosts. The hosts are amazing. We are growing very quickly, leaps and bounds, since I just launched the station right after the first of the year. And I'm having a blast doing that as well. So if you are interested, just go to the boldradiostation.com website and go fill out that contact sheet as well and just simply say regarding the radio show. And if you want to taste test and be a guest on one of our shows, you can also put that in there as well. We welcome that with open arms. Okay, enough. It's time to move on and bring my beautiful guest out of that green room. Her name is Christine. I hope I do not trash this last name. Christine Cottagio. And thank you. Christine is the founder of Successful Life Transition. Christine is known as the life navigator and guide through uncharted life change. Christine is passionate about helping men and women understand and navigate the many challenges of life transitions. Christine inspires and motivates business owners and entrepreneurs, women in particular, to survive and thrive through the process of change and transition in their own lives. So if you could please all put your hands together and welcome my guest, Christine.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for having me.
Oh, gosh, thank you for being on here, and it's my pleasure. And I just want to state that, Christine, you are a #1 international best-selling author. You are an amazing person. You are an amazing coach, and I want to let everyone know, of course, Christine and I were talking a little bit before the show here, and Chris is going through some beautiful business transitions, which I can relate because I went through a lot of those last year. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And your bio states it, quite frankly. When I was reading it, Christine, your bio pretty much states this transition you are in. And I got goosebumps, not because I'm in Michigan and I'm cold. I got the good goosebumps when I was reading that last half of your bio. And it's like, yeah, so let's just jump right on in. Go ahead and share with the listeners what it is that you do. What's your business?
Well, my business, Successful Life Transitions, actually was born from the elder care management business that I do still have, because I was helping so many of the adult children of aging parents as they were going through the changes that their families and adult parents had to go through. And so because they all have these busy lives of their own, they were having difficulties trying to get everything all done and trying to get everything in, and then something would happen to their aging parent and it was one more thing on their plate. So I started coaching to help them get through all of those transitions and understand what was happening with their parents and help them manage everything that was going on in their own lives. And it became such a passion of mine because pretty much mostly women always end up dealing with the challenges when there is an aging parent, but they take on the responsibility of so many of the other family challenges and business challenges. So women really need some guidance because we're overwhelmed. We have a lot on our plates, and it can get very overwhelming at times. So I help guide them through that process and give them some direction and put things in perspective. And it really does open up a whole new world.
How did you step into that, Christine? How did you transition into your business?
Well, it was really quite interesting, and it's a little bit about what my chapter was about as well. I had a number of transitions going on in my own life. I had a very, very normal first 30 some odd years of my life. I say normal because it was very segmented the way we would expect things to be. Life as we expected. And then things started to change, and over a course of a dozen or so years, it just became an avalanche of change. Mm-hmm. And so it was one thing after the other, and I really had no choice but to learn to help myself, empower myself to survive all that was happening. And, we're raised with this consciousness of how we're supposed to do things. And then when the world around us starts to rock and roll and it doesn't look anything like the life we expect, we really have to learn some survival techniques. And so I did a lot of work on myself and to get through many of those transitions, which are very numerous to mention, but to name a few, we had financial difficulties. We had some issues with our children growing up, and we almost did lose our house, and that was quite a challenge. And then because of all the difficulties we were going through, I did ultimately end up getting divorced. So it was really quite a time of learning and growing and learning a lot about myself. And so that actually helped me realize that I wasn't alone. For a long time, I didn't want to talk about some of the things I was going through. And then I found that when I started to share with other people, they would say, oh my gosh, I'm going through that too. Or, oh, I know exactly what you're feeling. And so I realized that other people needed help. So I started with my friends and the people close to me, helping them get through some of their challenges. And little by little, they would come back to me and say, wow, you really have a gift. You really know just how to help people through their stuff. And it just kind of emerged.
Yeah.
It emerged as a way of helping other people. And I started putting some programs together and realized that I really did have a gift for helping people get through their difficult transitions.
Listening to you, Christine, is that latter half of your your whole bio, of course. And all right, let me see. Can we talk about what we were talking about before we came on live? This next business transition that you're in the midst of, or are you not ready? I mean, it's fine if you are not ready to announce that, and I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Well, we can touch on it. We
Okay.
can touch it. It's not a full-fledged announcement yet.
Okay.
But I started realizing that some of what I was doing with the elder care management, which I love working with the elderly and I love working with the adult children, and I really do have a passion for that. But I found I wasn't being fulfilled enough with what I was doing in my day-to-day. As, a soulpreneur, I was spending a lot of my time doing the marketing and the networking and not really doing the things that I loved, which was helping the seniors and their families. And so my passion became all about helping the women who are going through the same experiences that I've experienced. Mm-hmm. And so I am transitioning. It's still incubating exactly what it will look like, but I do feel the shift. I definitely do feel the shift.
Yeah, I can feel it as you're talking, and you were sharing about it beforehand and talking about it now. And then I'm sitting here still looking at your bio. Of course it is that you're passionate about working with the elderly and the adult children to the elderly, because you've been doing this for a while. And it all comes down as all of us as women business owners, as entrepreneurs, or it doesn't matter what gender, you have to love what you do, or it will eat you up alive. And you have to go in it from a very space of from your soulful being, not from your egotistical brain, our heads. But, I heard you say you help people get through stuff, and you were sharing of how you stepped into your business and the stuff that you went through and how you managed to get through, which led you to the business, which happens to a lot of us, because I call that's the credentials that we cannot talk. Those are the credentials are the life experiences. The credentials are the educational degrees. So I hear this incubation thing that you have going on, and with women and stuff. It's so spot on. But what's so beautiful, Christine, is it enhances what you have been doing. I mean, it's getting through stuff. It's transitioning. It's changing. And it's not like you're going to walk away from something that you've been doing. You're actually branding, rebranding, but yet merging things together. Am I making sense?
It's 100%. It's exactly where I am at, because I do want to continue doing what I am doing. But really just branching into really more of where I see the need is. And so many women in particular, and I do work with men as well, but so many women just they don't know where to start.
No.
They don't know, how to ask for help. Many of us don't want to ask for help. We don't know how to do that. So it's, having the conversations and just getting people talking. I remember when I was going through some of my most difficult times, I felt like I had the scarlet letter. I felt like when I walked out the door, everybody knew I was going through stuff. And I keep saying stuff, but you know what? That's what it is. It's only stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
We all get through it.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter what the circumstance is. We all have some circumstances in our life that we need to get through. And I think when we can learn to reach out for the help, whether it be through a mentor or a coach, especially in business, and we can help someone guide us through those difficult times, and we realize we're not alone. None of us are alone in that. There's plenty of help out there. We just have to, reach out and ask for it.
Well, we have to speak. We do have a voice, and we have to, first of all, we have to listen to our inner wisdom and our inner knowing, and we may not know if we walk out the front door today of our house or their back door, and do we turn left out of our driveway or right out of our driveway or whatever. We don't have to know the specifics, but to slow down and listen and then use our voice to ask. And you said like a business coach, yes, a business coach / consultant, absolutely a mentor, because I build villages. I believe in villages. As you know, Christine, because you've experienced being in the Bold is Beautiful book, is I build villages. I don't think you just need one person in your life. And the purpose of the Bold is Beautiful book, and myself, that I surround such beautiful women that I surround myself with, and there are also men in my life as well, is I don't like those feelings of feeling alone. My first half of my life when I was in corporate America, when I first started my first fitness business, I can handle this alone because I'm Miss Independent. But, we as human beings, we are not meant to be alone. We're pack people. And I think it's important, like what you were going through, Chris, is to surround yourself with those others, whether it's a mentor or whether it's another woman that maybe is several steps ahead of a transition that you were going through. Maybe it's someone from your church if you go to church, and maybe it's a life coach before you get the business coach. But surround, maybe it's a support group, whatever, but surround yourself with as many people as you can possibly surround yourself with.
Oh, I totally agree, Kim. I totally agree. And as you mentioned, the book, the collaboration is it's phenomenal. The support and the spirit that we all shared with that book. Oh my gosh, it was just such an incredible feeling to know that. I remember sitting here that day that we launched the book, and I was all alone. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, there's no one here to share it with.
Yep.
And then by the end of the day, it was like I was popping open the champagne like by myself, but with every single one of those co-authors and you as well. It was, I didn't feel alone anymore.
Yeah.
And that's really an awesome feeling. And I think especially in business, we need to know that there are people that we can reach out to. And we really need to learn to do that. And I think, as you mentioned, as women, we're not used to doing that.
No.
We think we all are super women and we have to do it all. And you know what? Yeah, we can do it all, but not necessarily all at the same time.
Well, that was one of my chapters in an anthology that I participated in last year, the Superwoman Syndrome. We can have it all without losing ourselves. But women, we're meant to multitask and stuff, but the first and foremost is do not lose yourself in all that that busyness of that stuff. And I've been in the place where my ego is jumping up and down, that hag in the attic, and she's shouting, "You can do this alone, and you're independent," and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, let's get past that. We're not, it's again. I don't want any woman out there yeah, we work alone in our homes, us entrepreneurs, but not to feel alone. And it's like that day of the book launch. Sure, we got the statistics, and sure, we're all over the world. We came together on a radio show and a phone call to jump up and down and celebrate. I experienced that back in April with my first book. It was about 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Monday evening. It was my first time ever experiencing anything like this, and we hit bestseller, and I'm going, wow. Okay, where is everybody? I'm like, I don't want to celebrate by myself, So it's a lot of fun, and like you said, Christine, we are, around the world in our homes when we get the news, but we're really not alone, and it's enough of women losing hope and feeling alone, and then they lack the confidence and esteem and the self-worth. It's like we need to get past all that and strengthen that and grow from that. And that's something. There's another transition. That's a whole other transition.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. It's building that confidence. It's We all have so much tribal culture, that we're raised with that kind of tells us how we're supposed to act and how we're supposed to be. And so we're fighting the battles of trying to be the perfect woman, trying to do everything, trying to do what's expected of us. And, like you said, we really need to stop and just listen to the quiet. And I think that's really was one of my big shifts. One of the things I used to do for myself when I was going through my major transitions was to visit the beach on a Sunday and just sit there away from everything that was, influencing me or whatever the case may be, and just sit there and stare into the ocean. And it's incredible the answers that used to come to me because I just sat there and listened. And I don't think we do enough of that. Some of us do with yoga and meditation, and those are remarkable tools that we really need to avail ourselves of so that we can listen to our instincts. And actually that was one of my golden nuggets, was to trust your instincts, especially in business, because we're so used to relying on what other people are doing or what other people are saying or what other people are thinking. Just go for it. Just trust yourself, because the people that are looking are experiencing the same thing that you are. So it's really important that we just listen to ourselves.
Absolutely. I think, I was just talking, I don't remember who I was just talking with the other day. When I work with clients, I never ask them to stop. I do ask them to slow down, because it's finding it is maybe as contrived as this sound, but that's okay. I'll put myself there and I'll risk that because I love doing that anyways. It's finding peace within ourselves within a muckety muck, fast paced, unbelievable, fast-moving society. I'm not saying you cannot be a high-energy person. I am a high-energy person, and when I'm dragging for about 5 minutes, I get really cranky. I don't like to be slowed down, but I manage my slowing downs, and it's in order for us. In fact, that was one of my posts. That was my post this morning. Was around when if opportunity is not knocking, build the door and open the door. Is if we're moving so fast, how can we find or hear or see or feel an opportunity? Because that comes to, to me, Christine, an opportunity is a gift, and we can create some of those opportunities. I do believe we have to ask for those opportunities, and the universe delivers. But if we're moving so fast, which we do, the universe will go, okay, moving so fast, she missed that one, and okay, I'm going to give her what he or she is asking for. So I think it's so important to take a deep breath. This is a new year. It's the second month of a new year. You will meet your accomplishments. You will meet your goals, and more will come. But take a deep breath. We've got a multitude of months here to a year. just slow down and care for yourself. And I live in Michigan. I'm not going to go walk near and sit near any water right now. But I mean, my thing is yoga or, meditation. Christine, I meditate. But my other thing is when I feel things are getting to be too much and my head starts clogging up, I walk out of my office and I'll go straighten up or clean. And when I'm moving like that, oh my God, so much comes to me.
That's amazing you say that, because I just experienced that a few weeks ago, and I felt this overload. Like you said, it's sometimes we forget that it's a new year and it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes.
And we try and accomplish too much. And so I had to do exactly what you said, and one day I just closed the office door and I started cleaning out closets.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, that felt so good, because I felt like I was making room, even though it wasn't work related. I was making room. I was shifting the energy. I was bringing in, fresh energy and getting rid of the old stuff. There's that word stuff again.
Yep.
I didn't realize I use it so much. But really, it just shifts the energy up. And I think we need to do that from time to time.
Yes.
We just, need to. Well, you can't do it right now, but I'm sure when you have beautiful spring weather, you would love to sit outside and work instead of being stuck in your office if you can.
Oh, I do that. Yeah, I go out on my patio. I've got my desktop is a laptop. I just undock and I go out in the backyard. Absolutely. And the other things that I do midday, and I do it periodically in the winter, not as much as I do in the summertime, is when we're talking about when our heads start filling up and things start feeling, it's force. It's that Cinderella and the woman in the village trying to cram her foot in the glass slipper because that's what I'm getting to. I'm starting to force and not soften and let go. So what I do is I'll take a midday walk with my 2-year-old black lab, Grace. I'll go for a quick walk. It won't be as long as like what we do in the mornings. I don't do it too much now because I'm like a kid going outside to play. I got to put about 10 layers on, and that's a whole process. So there's other things, other seasonal things. My point is just for everybody to find what works for them, what works for them. And there's no right or wrong in that, but to allow yourself to slow down and be clear. Because as I'm talking, I'm visualizing. It's like a major dust storm in the desert, and all that you can't see in front of you because all the sand and dust is flying. But when we slow down, a lot of that dust goes away, and we can start seeing past that, and even feeling what's there, those gifts. So that's
yes, I agree with you 100%.
Yes. So first of all. All right. No, I'm joking around. I know I can do this with Christine. Okay. Gosh, Christine, you are now the stuff coach. I'm just kidding, everybody. She is not. She is not. She's an amazing coach, amazing transitional. I even see the word change because I love the word change, but you are an amazing transitional coach and supportive person. But I love that you're like, ooh, there I am saying that stuff again. That's cute. I like that. Let's talk, if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about the book. And again, today's show is, it's around you, Christine, not just about the book. So I want to know, how does it feel to be a number one international best-selling author?
I have to tell you, it's an amazing feeling. I still have difficulty saying it because I keep thinking, is that who I really am? And people do look at you quite differently. I have my assistant making some calls for speaking presentations, and as soon as she mentions, that I'm an international best-selling author, it's like, okay, let's look at the calendar. It's like it has such a quality about it. It's really quite mind-boggling. But it feels such an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this when we had some of the calls about the book. At the beginning of the year, I had never thought about an anthology at all, but I knew that on my list for 2013, I wanted to do a book. And I hadn't exactly told the universe what kind of book or what I wanted it to be about, because I have a few thoughts on that. But this was just such a great segue for me, a great launch pad for me to do my own book, because it really made me realize how valuable it is for me as far as my own self-confidence. Sorry, I just knocked something over. My own self-confidence and my credibility, how differently people look at me. And the book is gorgeous. When people see the book, they love it. It's a beautiful book. I have women, even older women, that say, oh, my daughter-in-law would love this, or my son's girlfriend would love this. And they're buying the book like crazy because they really love the essence of it. And there again, it's about women getting through adversities and accomplishing wonderful things in their life. And that's probably part of what motivated my own shift. Because I realized that, we all get through this stuff. And the stuff again, there's stuff again. Oh gosh, I'm going to have to do something about that. But really, how we all manage these adversities. And there's incredible stories in there that are heart-wrenching, but we all manage to get through it. We all have incredible qualities. And I'm sure you've heard me speak about my fascination with The Wizard of Oz and Dorothy.
Yep.
And I always refer to this because we all have the qualities. We all have the qualities within us. We just don't recognize them. And I think as so many of the co-authors, myself included, sat down and wrote those chapters, we started to see the possibility of what we're capable of. And I think that was one of the beautiful outcomes of that book.
Yes. Yeah, it's just that all of the women are just so beautiful, as I was saying in the beginning of this show. Absolutely. And it does. I don't know if you caught, the post, and just for everybody knows, within the book, we all have, each group has a private Facebook page so that we can get on in there and support each other as we're journeying up to the launch date, and then, messages for the actual launch day, and then, of course, afterwards. But I put a post in there. I came walking out of one of my accounts, one of my classes last week, and this woman, she looked familiar. I probably have seen her around in the town or in the area and stuff. She goes, she's looking at me. She goes, "That's you." She goes, "That's you." Now, let me tell you that's me. I've got a baseball cap on, no makeup, and I'm in my exercising clothes because I just got done teaching a class. And she goes, "You're the one. You're the one that put that book together, Bold is Beautiful. I got that through Belle Cohen, one of the co-authors. Oh my gosh, I just got it. The cover is beautiful. I cannot wait to open it up. It is amazing." I'm sitting there going, okay, wow, I'm excited. Thank you. And I got out into the car and I went, oh my God, what just happened? And I called my husband and I'm like, you're not going to believe what just happened. I mean, it's instant celebrity status. It really is instant credibility and instant celebrity status. And when people hear that you are a #1 international best-selling author, and I'm with you, Chris, I think I've landed that title. It took me a little while. And I had practiced leading up to Bold is Beautiful because I was an international best-selling author in 2 books prior to that. And then a couple weeks prior to Bold is Beautiful, I became a #1 international best-selling author in another book. And then Bold is Beautiful. And I'll tell you what, it took up until about 2 weeks ago. I was with you still. I was forgetting to say it. I was, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm #1. Yeah, but it does. It lands for you, for all of us, instant credibility. But oh my gosh, it does so much more than that. It's the sisterhood among the co-authors, and the fact that books are shelf life, we really get to show ourselves through our words. And I just think that that is so amazing. And that's what led me to launch this internet radio station, because now have we not just shown ourselves through our words, now we get to speak it through our voice. And to me, life is complete.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. So, but let's come back around. I'm hearing 2 S words from you: stuff and shift. Stuff and shift. I'm having so much fun with this.
Write those down, huh?
Yeah, I wrote them down. Stuff and shift. Shift and stuff. So I know you alluded a little while back, early on in the interview, around your business and what your chapter is about. Do you want to add a little bit more to what your chapter is about in the book?
Yeah, we could. Actually, my chapter, I never really talk about the actual transitions that I went through. I'm saving that for the next book. No.
Okay.
Actually, what I alluded to was being raised with that certain mentality of perfectionism, not getting, I'd get 100 on a test, and how come it wasn't 105? And I realized that, my parents thought it was fun, it was cute, I was always doing so well, but it gave me this sense of everything had to be perfect. And so I really worked very hard for most of my adult life trying to create this perfect world, whether it be in my housekeeping, in my work, in raising my children. It was everything had to be just so. So when things started to fall apart, that in itself was my shift. That was my awakening that, here's these rules that I was raised with, and now the rules are changing. So now what do I do? So it was kind of the sense of creating my own rules for me instead of for everyone else. So it really was a learning process in and of itself. And aside from the transitions that were happening, the shift happened in me because I realized I needed to start learning who I was and taking care of me, and not in a selfish way, but in a way I had never done before. And that was quite a challenge. It was very difficult because I wasn't raised with that mentality. So it was really hard for me to do. And as most of us know, when we are going through some shifts of our own, life shifts, people don't necessarily, especially the people close to us, don't necessarily understand or want to see us change because they worry about how they're going to fit. Mm-hmm. And so, it becomes kind of a double whammy because we're trying to process things in our own world and deal with the people around us. And it becomes very difficult to realize we have to let other people deal with their own emotions and still keep moving forward. And it's a very challenging place to be, but it's part of getting through transitions. And I always say, I know you use stuff a lot, but the optimal word really is through, because it is a process getting through those transitions and being able to start seeing our own transformation and see the possibilities and see what is there for us. And that the dust, as you mentioned, it does settle. And, we do rise above it all to become our best self. And so transition to transformation, it's just a phenomenal concept because we really need to go through those transitions to become who we're supposed to be. And, I'm a firm believer in those steps lead us to our purpose. And we have to be able to recognize them and appreciate them so that we can understand our own transformation and learn to love ourselves in our life again.
You shared just so much there. So there's a couple of things here. I'm going to back up a little bit here. What you were talking about, learning to accept yourself. I'm going to paraphrase and throw a couple words in here, so bear with me. Learning to love yourself and learning to self-care, take care of yourself. And you said not in a selfish way. And I just want to state for everybody listening, there's a reason why there's a verbiage and a terminology of empty nest syndrome, ladies. And it's ladies, it's women that go through the empty nest syndrome, because we're the gender that, whether we have careers or not, a lot of the responsibilities of the home falls upon us. That we carry the babies, we carry the kids, we birth the babies. We've got that immediate bond the second the baby, baby starts growing. That is not selfish. That is being self-filled. And again, as trite or repetitive as this sounds, is think about on the plane when they tell you, all right, the oxygen mask falls. Place yours on first, do the adjustments, and then help your children next to you, help the person next to you. We cannot help anybody if we don't have any oxygen. We're going to be flat on our face, which that's what a lot of women do. And you know what? Go ahead. I'm picking on women, but I get it because I work with women, so I'm not just picking on our gender. But there's all of that, and if we took a step back or took a slow down step to self-care and self-fulfill ourselves, we wouldn't go through an empty nest syndrome. Because we wouldn't have lost sight of ourselves all those years of raising the kids. And I love the you said transition to transformation. Am I right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's 1 + 1 = 2. Transition to transformation equals change. And there's so many people out there that are so afraid of the word transformation, so afraid of the word change, so afraid to go through all that. Well, I got to tell everyone listening, man, woman, whoever, there's change going on from second to minute to hour to day to month to year to year. The earth does not stop revolving. We go from day to night to seasons to whatever. Life changes, and we have a choice. We can either not change with it, but change maybe alongside of it. So in other words, life is not living us. We are living life, which is what we're supposed to be doing, and embrace it. I mean, oh my gosh, get a hold of Christina, everybody. She'll teach you how to embrace that. And, is it scary? Oh, yeah, sure. I think it's more scarier living in that desert storm with all that and not being able to see 3 inches in front of you and that annoying, as opposed to I can see clearly now with the song, it's, and I get that so crystal clear from you, Christine, that this is a huge part of the work that you do, a huge part of the work.
Yes, and I do speak a lot about embracing change because, as you mentioned, it's all around us. We can't control what happens to us, but what we can control is how we react to it. Mm-hmm. And I think that when we learn to embrace change, that life becomes so much easier. Mm-hmm. Because we don't feel like we're blindsided. Things are going to happen, yes. Things are going to happen unexpectedly, yes. Horrific things will happen, yes. But when we can put things in perspective and understand that it is all part of a process, it is all part of a master plan, it is part of what we need to go through to get us to where we're supposed to be, then it really helps us deal with things so much more comfortably and stress-free. Things going to happen by all means. Can we get through them? Yes, we can. Can we be happy about them? They don't have to be happy, but if we can understand that it is a natural process and that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and in most cases, when you go through change, even if it's negative, something positive eventually comes out of it.
Yes. Yes.
And,
yes.
and that's what really people need to recognize.
You know, I love what you were saying. My very first coach, when I came out of my coaching certification, I had no idea what direction I wanted to go in and what I wanted to do, and hired this gentleman. And one of the things he taught me is exactly what you were saying, is, you know, are things going to happen? Are catastrophic things can happen? I mean, you know, a lot of us who still have parents, which I do, I have aging parents, you know, some of that is unforeseen. You know, when you get a phone call and one of them has fallen and they're in the hospital, that's unforeseen obstacles that we cannot control, nor can we predict. I mean, life is life. We're all aging. I mean, I can predict, you know, my parents are aging. But when we have embraced our lives and we are living life, and life is not living us, those unforeseen obstacles don't hit us on the side of, oh my gosh, talk about hitting on the side of the head. I just had an eye-opener because I went through that several years ago. They don't hit us like a ton of bricks. You know, we can take some deep breaths and respond to things because we are managing life, whereas life is not controlling us. So can you imagine, Christine, all the people out there that life is controlling them, and then they get the phone call that, you know, a parent is aged and sick and in the hospital, and or God forbid something's happened to their kid, when you don't manage the things that you are able to manage and embrace, man, those unforeseen obstacles, whoo, watch out.
Watch out, 100%. I agree with you, Kim. And that's why, you know, that's part of what I try and work with my clients on is being open to change, because you really need to be open to the possibilities, be open to what can happen, what might happen, and understand that there are coping mechanisms. Mm-hmm. And when we learn to work with those coping mechanisms on the simplest things, then when the big shifts happen, we can deal with them a little bit easier.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. So, all right, here it is. We've got about, give or take, 10 minutes, 12 minutes left. Do you believe that?
Wow.
I said that before we started. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to have so much fun, and this hour is going to fly by. But before we wrap this up, I want to take this, and we're not ready to wrap this up yet. We still have some time. Christine, give everybody your website and where they can get in touch with you, please.
Yes, my website is ChristineCatagio.com, and I'll spell that for you. ChristineCatagio.com. And I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn under the same name.
Yeah, please reach out to Christine. So, you know, Christine, you and I are both entrepreneurs. We're both business owners, and you're at such a beautiful intersection, is my analogy. And that's all we need to say, because we were talking about before the show. But are there any golden kernel nuggets, anything to owning a business, especially our businesses, you know, we grow, and I just went through some rebranding last year, and my business took off like a racehorse out of the gate last year. It was huge. Are there any tips you can give to any entrepreneurs that are listening, especially the ones that are thinking about quitting, they're facing burnout, or they've lost hope? Because I don't like to hear that stuff.
Definitely. Well, one of the ones we mentioned already was to trust your instincts. Stop looking over your shoulder at what other people are doing or thinking about what you're doing. Be courageous. Try something different. No one's going to, you know, say, oh, I can't believe she's doing that, or, you know, I believe that he thinks that's a good idea. You know, if you get the thought to try something, it's, I'm going to coin someone else's phrase, but consider it a divine download. And actually understand that maybe that's the direction you should be going. And the other thing is be flexible. I went through a lot of challenges with my business, and as you see now, I realized that I needed to try a lot of different things. Some things worked, some things didn't, but I needed to be flexible and really respond to the kind of requests I was getting from my clients. So we may not necessarily be offering everything that the clients want or need. So we need to be flexible and open to adjusting what we offer so that we can help our clients get through or, do what they need with us.
Yeah, I agree. And remember, too, our clients, they have the answer. They may not know the answer in that moment. They feed us the answer. We're just there to mirror back or to gracefully or graciously provide back so they can hear and take their journey and discover at their own pace as well. But I agree that flexibility and everybody out there listening, goodness gracious, if you're constantly telling yourself, which I was very guilty of this years ago, I'm tired. I thought my business would be here 10 years later, and I'm tired. I am just plain tired. Okay, first of all, you're not the humanness tired where we've got to lay down and go to sleep. It's nighttime for our body to rest and repair. That is part of our bodies. You're burnt out. And it's time to reevaluate and go back to the drawing board and expand that business and maybe add another leg to your business that is going to energize you and also expand, because we have grown and maybe the business hasn't. Maybe it's time, and that could be the ball of weight that is making you tired and dragging you down. So don't quit, don't lose hope at all, by all means.
Definitely.
Get the Bold is Beautiful book. That is not a business book. It's a very inspirational book. It's so inspiring. And all the women in there, I mean, talk about somebody who reached out to me the other day. Oh, one of my co-authors in another book. And she was getting ready she had so much going on. It was the weekend. And she messaged me. She goes, I put everything off to the side. She goes, and I grabbed your book and I sat down, and she goes, oh, I had a fresh eyes on my set of papers of a chapter that I need to do. It calmed me down. I didn't look at everything so negatively, because in our offices, in our homes, it can be muckety-muck sometimes. So, and if it's not Bold is Beautiful, go grab your journal. Maybe use a different color pen. I'm big on pens and markers. I'm like shoes and purses. I'm the same way with Sharpie pens. I don't know what it is with them. But treat yourself. Treat yourself. Just treat yourself and allow yourself to take that time and give yourself that permission. So. Christine, before we wrap this all up, please, one more time, offer your website.
ChristineCottagio.com. Should I spell it again?
Yeah, would you just one more time?
Sure. ChristineCottagio.com.
Yep, and you can reach out to her on Facebook and LinkedIn. I know she's on Facebook. That's how Christine and I know each other, is through the power of social media. Love that darn social media. Christine, is there any last departing words you'd like to share? Excuse me.
Don't be afraid of change. Be open to change and be open to the possibilities, because the possibilities surface when we least expect them. And if we're open to receiving them, it can open up our whole world.
Yes. And if you are hesitant to that change and what Christine just said, you better reach out to her because she's the change mama. She's the I just gave you another name, Christine. She's the transformation person. What are the two? I love these two S words. She helps you get through your stuff and do the shift. The shift in the stuff. I just did a commercial for you. I like that.
I like it too. Thank you.
I'm having so much fun with this. This is God, we're going to have to go off air and just get into some fun marketing stuff for you. Oh, yeah. Everybody, please be sure to connect with Christine on social media. If you wouldn't mind, when you do reach out and connect with her, simply let her know that you heard her on Kim's radio show, so she knows where you are coming from, and will accept the invite and invitation, and reach out to her on her website. Christine, thank you so much for being on the show today. You bring such beauty and such depth of wisdom with you.
Oh, thank you so much, Kim. I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, just sit tight in the green room. Make yourself comfortable. I'm going to come right on in here momentarily. I'm going to wrap up the show. But again, Christine, thank you so much. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us and listening in today. It is Bold Biz Tips Thursday on Lead Her Up Is In, Women on the Rise at the Bold Radio Station. Remember, I'm Kim Boudreaux Smith. If you have any questions or comments or interested in hosting your own radio show or interested in being a guest, reach out to me at boldradiostation.com. Interested in experiencing being a part of an anthology. You heard Christine speak so boldly from her heart and her experience. And that's basically what a lot of us experience in those anthologies. Reach out to me. Go to the Kim B. Smith website there and just go to the contact page and just say, I'm interested in learning more about the book project, Kim, you have going on. I'll be more than happy to provide that information with you. So everybody, it's Thursday. We are almost through our week. We've got the weekend coming. Go make it an awesome, bold Thursday. Have a phenomenal weekend. And we'll see you back here on Monday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much, everybody.